everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Awaken Authentic Self. I'm your host, Jill Young. Thank you for joining me this morning on this Tuesday morning on the way to work. Maybe you are already at work. Maybe you are home. But I welcome you from wherever you are joining me this morning. So today, I just want to talk about they excluded you, so what? They excluded you, so what? You know, this Christian walk isn't for the faint. It isn't for the weak, you know. You really have to develop a tough skin and renew your mind. You know, your whole mindset has to change because a lot of times we can become easily offended. And so a lot of us are dealing with the spirit of offense. And that could be a problem because then you will start to allow the enemy and people to control you. Because anytime somebody can control how you feel, you know, they can control whether or not you're happy, they can control whether or not you're sad. That person has power over you. You actually give that person power over you. You know, and there's so many little things. And I remember this book, it was called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And there's a whole lot of small stuff, you know, going on today. I mean, there's so many times, you know, there are people who will try to purposely get under your skin, purposely get you upset. I talked about it a long time ago, you know, how not to allow the enemy to steal your energy, how, you know, to steal your joy. Because people will see you happy, blessed, and maybe you are actually going through something, but people will assume, because sometimes, you know, some of us, we can carry things well. You know, we don't put it out there, what we're going through. We don't post on Facebook all of our problems. And some people do that. You know, if you choose to do that, that is your choice. But a lot of times, a lot of us, you know, we tend to keep our private matters to ourselves. And so people will assume that we have it all together. And we don't always have it all together. And there are, you know, people, and most people, we're all battling something, right? I battle something, you know, and I'm sure whoever's watching, you know, your life is not completely perfect or exactly the way you would want it to be. And if it was, you know, I believe that there would not be anything for us to learn. And sometimes it would not be a reason for us to even get on our knees and pray. And now that's unfortunate, but, you know, sometimes we have to be broken in order to seek the Lord. But what I would like to talk about is they excluded you, so what? And so we're dealing with how not to be easily offended. So we have to look at things from a different point of view. You know, sometimes we feel like people exclude us because we're not likable, we don't fit in. But sometimes not fitting in could be a good thing, right? You know, the Bible tells us that bad company corrupts good character. And when you are left out on the invite list, and maybe always include others and invite people, but when you've been left out and you thought that you were in with the in crowd or what have you, you know, sometimes that could be a compliment, right? That could actually be a compliment, being left out. Because if bad character corrupts good company, and you know that certain individuals don't bring anything but bad character anyways, then perhaps that's a compliment. Perhaps that means you've actually arrived, right? You because you have a goal to get to. You have a destination. And allowing the enemy to distract us through the spirit of offense, because somebody hurt our feelings, somebody left us out, we may have gotten left out on that promotion. You never know what God is doing. His ways are higher than our ways. He's already saw, the end from the beginning. He has been in those conversations, those quiet little, groups that get together and they talk about you behind your back, even at your job. It could be a situation where there's a group of managers talking behind your back and they don't really see your value. But you know what? Sometimes those type of things can push you into an environment where you're supposed to be, where you will be respected, where they will value your work. Because sometimes some people just can't see it, will not see it, cannot see it. They won't be able to see your talent and skills. But then you can take it somewhere else and use it. And if you're in the same organization, people hear about what you're doing and they're like, wow, we didn't know she was capable of that. We didn't know he could do that. Well, yeah, because, you judged me. You never gave me a chance. My resume is right here. My resume said I could do it. But, you did not give me that opportunity. So sometimes it's just that people will not give you that opportunity. They will not give you that chance. And little do they know, God will harden people's hearts. See, he hardens the hearts, for his will. Just like he hardened Pharaoh's heart, right? To show the people that he is God. He can wipe out Pharaoh and his army and still let his people go. So sometimes God wants to show off this way. And you just got to know how God works. And so people will harden their heart towards you so that he can get you to a better destination, the right destination for your life. That better job, that better opportunity, that man or woman that's actually going to be your future wife or your future husband, And so the enemy will bring in these distractions and you'll get all wrapped up in this web. If you're overly sensitive, if you're, your feelings can be easily hurt and you don't have tough skin, you can get wrapped up in being offended. And, if God's going to use you, if you're ever going to allow the Lord to use you, then get some tough skin. Don't be easily offended, because people are dealing with a whole lot of things. People are dealing with, poverty. People are dealing with demonic possession. People are dealing with, mental illnesses. People are dealing with things in their family. And sometimes it's not always, they don't like you. Sometimes they're dealing with other things, and you could be just the easiest target because you're there. Because, you are you. You are helpful. You are loving. And so sometimes people will take things out on you, or, they will exclude you. And, a lot of times, God also will protect us from things that we don't even know about. You could be not invited to something and later find out there may have been a fight, or later found out that, there may have been a shooting. So, God just protects us in so many ways. So being easily offended, we have to mature. By the time, you get to be in, I would even say your mid-20s, your 30s, 40s, we should have already matured enough and been through enough situations and enough scenarios to not allow ourselves to be easily offended. And perhaps that means you just got to work on your self-esteem. You know, be more self-assured about yourself, because there are people out here who will just purposely try to offend you, and sometimes that could just be because they see you're winning, you're on your grind, and they might see that you are a likable person and you're doing well, and so some people think it's their duty to come and knock you off your square, to knock you down, you know, thinking that you're on a, you know, some high horse or something, but really all you're trying to do is what God called you to do, and better your life and better yourself, and move from a place, you know, of maybe low self-esteem or low self-worth, and you're just working on yourself. And so people will look at you and judge you and think you have it all together, and envy the fact that you are gaining confidence, and they will try to, you know, offend you. And I believe they take that offense, you know, that energy, you know, from you to make themselves feel good. And we should never ever allow the enemy to have that much control, that much power, right? And to even get that satisfaction, because they're simply not worth it. Simply not worth it. So you was excluded from that invite. You were excluded from that group. You were excluded from being considered for that promotion. So what? It only means it's not for you, and God has something better. So if that's you this morning, or something that you recently dealt with in the past, that's your answer. God has something better. You know, form your own group. You know, get yourself your own team of friends, or, you know, your support system. Get around like-minded individuals, and your life will be better for it. And so I thank you all again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I get a lot of views sometimes, but you know, I need to get more likes and subscribes. Let the you know, this video circulate and help the algorithm of this channel. But I do thank you for watching, and I will see you back here again another day, God willing.